What's up, reefers? Welcome to Alex Pour Corals. I got more reefing over here. I got you good. I got you bad. I got you ugly. So this is my video log series where hopefully I can you can learn from my mistakes as we go. So let's check it out. All right. So here's a shot of my 20-gallon quarantine today, and I have on here this float valve that I installed right here that I was talking about before. This is the small Chinese float valve that I got off of Amazon that seems to be pretty good. And it's definitely not the most sexy thing sitting there, but it's not too bad. Possibly could have had it angled the other way, but I wanted to have the cord going down that way. The roll line. However, definitely safe, at least for this size of glass. It's not too bad. It's on there pretty secure, but I really had to put it on there tight. I had to put a quarter behind it right there because it wasn't quite long enough, and a little bit of tape to hold it on there. I got a tie on there as well, just kind of secure it really well. And so on this one, I wanted to be able to put the fail-safe valve up top here, but it's just not a good way to do it where you're gonna have the lines coming out kind of out towards the top here. So might be some kind of device that you could design that would fit this good. Of course, and I'm sure if I had an all-in-one, I would be able to install this float valve in the back of the all-in-one very nicely as well. So I went ahead and put the fail-safe valve just straight down here on the floor. So right there, and same concept as it is under the cabinet for the purified water system. So the water is gonna flow down here, and I know that it does kind of angle into that corner right there. So definitely gonna hit that boom. Once it does, it shuts it off. So hopefully that does work. If it does, stick on. So there it is, folks. It's the flow valve and the fail-safe valve on there as well. So we'll see how that does, and of course, I have two more backup flows ready to go if this one should fail, and I plan on switching it out about every 6 months to make sure that it is in working, and it should be in good operating condition, fairly reliable, and that way better off than just trying to clean in, hoping that they'll get worn. So that should keep it fresh and in operating conditions without a doubt. I got up this morning and the poor crocea clam right here, he was over here, well, completely covered with copepods. So I'm not sure, why the copepods were just so many of them just in one particular spot. I would say maybe like, a good 10, 15 copepods, maybe even more, just in one little spot, right on top of him, and he wasn't even opening it up all or anything. So I got him, I just brushed him off with a toothbrush and put him up here on this frag rack. So hopefully he's gonna be doing okay, right? Well, see, I don't know if it was just a temporary thing. I mean, it was good, completely open, really nice mantle extension yesterday. So today was a difference. So I might try him back after a couple days, back where he was at, whether it was just the first time, just like a momentary thing with these guys, or whether they were actually have a long-term problem. And I could just leave them on the frag rack at least until I get them into the main display, right? So other than that, what else we have to say? Got that's it, I guess. So just check out, see if anything else interesting in here. Everything else is about the same. And certainly can yeah, one thing I want to mention, well, check out the main display over here. They got this huge algae bloom going on over here. So let's check that out. I got your browns, I got your green, I got your red, I got your blue-green, I got your cyanobacteria, I got your dinoflagellates, I've got diatoms all over the glass right here. I got all kinds of nasty slimes. Look at this, all over goniopores completely dying from the slime, completely covering up everything. I can't even hardly see in the aquarium, right? It's all cloudy glass, and this is just after one day. If you saw my video from yesterday, well, like after I did the video, I hit the glass, and this is the next day, and this is what it looks like. Horrible, horrible. Death netting. Death slime netting. There it's just nets over absolutely everything, and just the most wicked way all over my especially on my varieties right here. Christmas tree worm rock never had such a bad case of this slime webbing. So yeah, you know, you just got it'll burn itself out. Just gotta be patient. And well, my 2 cents on the situation is that from overfeeding, yes. However, I am my theory is that, you know, it's not the nitrates and the phosphates directly that fuels this type of algae bloom. You know, I believe it is from feeding, though. From when you do feed, you know, it causes an increase in dissolved organics, and I believe it's this dissolved organics, you know, and then when it starts to break down, this is the results of it. But you know, and maybe at some point it's levels of nitrite and ammonia that might cause this type of blooms. You know, I think it's just the other dissolved organics when you do so. And like I said, what makes it particularly hard to work with is that it takes a good 2 weeks, you know, 2 weeks to 2 months for it to actually show the results. You know, and so once you make the correction, it's gonna take a good 2 weeks to 2 months for it to start to recover. But it will, you know, and I've gone through this in the past, you know, lots and lots of times before. So just have to be patient. And, you know, I was feeding the reef boards and the dehydrated chicken manure, and, you know, I had been feeding the reef boards the 1/4 of the recommended dosage, and it seemed good. It seemed good for, you know, a couple of months or what have you. And so I started increasing up. You know, I started adding the dehydrated chicken manure as well to this one, you know, the exact same amount. And so, you know, after 2 weeks or so, and I started getting algae bloom, and so then I completely cut both of them off. So I'm going to start back once it disappears completely. Then I'm going to start back, and when I do, I'm going to start at just 1/8 of the recommended dosage of just the reef boards, and then go from there. And if you know, if I'm going to increase from there, you just got to do it really, really slowly, you know, over a long period of time, just to really be careful to not overdose and get into this situation, because you're you know, it's just the system, you know, this is where you get where you get that all of the ugly algae dominating. You're getting them dominating over the corals and over the coralline algae. So, you know, it's real easy to do when you have such a low population of corals in here. It's like they need some feeding, but then if you just slightly add too much, there's very little, you know, room for play or air room. So a real small margin to work with. You know, as compared if you have a system that has a lot more corals in it, you know, it has the 75% or more of the surface square footage of your reef covered with coral or coralline algae, you know, then you have a lot, you can feed a lot more, you know, and if you do, your system will compensate and absorb that either, you know, through the corals, coralline algae, and then possibly too, you know, as well as mentioned, is the balance between your algae and your copepods and other microfauna. So that's my theory on that one, guys. That's my 2 cents. And check back to the next episode to see if this in fact works, or everything is completely dead and burned off and I have to start over, or what's going on. But happy reefing, guys. Bye.